So, massive apologies for not putting out a lot of Buffy or Angel stuff. I had to get to other things. I will try to get back into Buffy in a big way. Expect to see some Buffy stuff real soon. Don't worry, I've been cooking in the kitchen and I've got some interesting thoughts. Hopefully people will like it. But let us get to the good, bad news with Slayers. And the bad news, of course, is it's not continuing, but it is actually intriguing why it is not continuing. So what is Slayers? If you are totally new to the Buffy fandom, well, Slayers was an interesting experiment with Audible to do Buffy as a podcast. Now, technically, this is not canonical. They did build on the early seasons of Buffy, so if you do see Buffy, technically, it is continuing that story, but if you're a hardcore fan, you'll know that they kind of changed things and retconned things. Amber was behind the project, as well as a few other people. It did have a lot of the original cast, which was amazing. They had some new characters too. And I think, I will not speak for the entire fandom, I listened to only excerpts. I did not listen to the whole thing. It seemed a little bit mixed in terms of quality, at least to me. And the reviews were very polarized. Some people loved it, some people hated it. What is very, very puzzling, because again, Buffy is owned by the Disney Corporation. Yes, I know, people will be like, what? Yes, Buffy is owned by Disney, not by Joss, but I will get to that in a moment. So yes, the Disney Corporation, which is very profit-oriented, this made money. It was very popular. A lot of people did like this. However, for whatever reason, the Disney Corporation has decided, no, we're not going to continue. But Audible did actually top quite a few charts. I reported on this in an earlier video that it actually was very, very popular. At least in terms of selling, getting an audience, it did what it's supposed to do. A lot of people loved getting back into the universe because, again, this was technically the original universe. We don't have Sarah Michelle Gellar, which is, of course, a massive big hole, but we did get a lot of the original people, the original cast, original characters, modified, yes, and doing a kind of interesting what-if story with Spike and Cordelia. They're the main characters fighting a new nebulous evil with Drusilla, and I'm not going to spoil the whole story, but Amber plays a role, and it's kind of weird. So it was uneven in terms of quality, but it did gain an audience, and yet Disney has decided we're not going to keep moving with the Audible series. So what is the good news? Well, I think it's pretty obvious that people are speculating, because they gave no official reason, but we can speculate that the Buffy reboot, where Buffy will apparently be a black woman, at least for now. Let's not even get into that one. But yeah, the tentative plan is to make Buffy black woman. Why? I don't know. And that's been cooking for years and years and years. So maybe something will finally happen. Because apparently they're thinking that if they have the Audible series, people will not pay for the TV show and or movie. And they want that to come out. So you'll be buying exclusivity. Now, that makes no sense if you're a Buffy/Angel fan. Because back in the day, that's like saying, well, you got Angel, why would you want to see Buffy? But most fans are like, no, I'll see both. Now, granted, there are the Buffy only fans, just like there are Angel only fans, but I think most of the fandom loves to go back and forth. In fact, the hardcore fandom is like, they see everything. They look at all the comics, they go through the novels. I'm pretty hardcore, but I've only read a little bit of the comics on both ends with Buffy and Angel. The thinking is pretty stupid, but that's the Disney Corporation. There is also another matter, which Amber was a little bit coy about, but she eventually confirmed that, yes, Joss officially had to sign off on this. Even though Joss Whedon does not own Buffy, he apparently does have a few legal rights, so he could have held it back. But apparently Joss, goodwill, decided to, no, you can do it. I will officially allow it. So it could be a Joss decision behind the scenes saying, no, I don't want this thing to continue. Which frankly is legit, because although I like Slayers in principle, it is not the real deal. It is definitely a decline in quality from what you get from Buffy. So it could also be a branding issue that Joss doesn't want Buffy tainted by an inferior kind of sister series. Now to me, more Buffy is better, and we'll pick and choose. However, yeah, Slayers has some of the original flavor of the Buffy series, but it is different. So, Slayers is on pause for now. I will keep my ear to the ground. Hopefully they may change their minds. But it is indication that they are still planning a reboot or some kind of remake. And I guess they're nervous that the fans will pay only for so much Buffy. But believe me, Buffy fans will pay for a lot. So, I don't see that we're going to be either or situation, but apparently they were like too nervous, so Slayers for now is on pause.